One night, I was walking alone in the park. Then suddenly, a police officer appeared before me. But strangely, that officer wasn't real. It was made entirely of light, a hologram. For a moment, I felt chills down my spine. A police officer without a body? Unbelievable. But this is a real system in South Korea. It's called the Hologram Police of Jungbu Station. At first, I thought it was a joke. But this hologram isn't just for display. It actually helped reduce real crimes in the park. This area is under CCTV surveillance. Every night from 7 to 10 p.m., it activates automatically. It even plays a real officer's voice as a warning. That short announcement changed people's behavior. Even without real officers, it felt like they were there. This wasn't just technology, it was psychology. Jungbu Police called it their safe park innovation. After installation, serious crimes dropped by 22%. Murder, assault, theft, and violence all declined. A police officer made of light changed people's minds. Even international media noticed the story. BBC, NBC, and DW all covered this experiment. Korean police had shown a new model of public safety. The era of holographic policing had quietly begun. Maybe this is the first signal of future cities. Since that night, I've never feared dark parks again. There's an odd sense of comfort being watched by light. Now, let me tell you the full story of this experiment. How the Jungbu Police's idea came to life in Seoul. And how that light began to fight real-world crime. This project was never meant as a gimmick. The Jungbu Police had faced a long-standing issue. Nighttime crimes in small city parks kept rising, especially in Jeodong 3 Park, dark and isolated. It wasn't possible to station officers there all night, so they came up with a bold new idea. What if people believed an officer was watching? That was the birth of the Hologram Police. They combined light, sound, and human presence. It was designed to create psychological deterrence. The hologram appeared in full human size. It only activated after sunset for realism. During the day, the park stayed peaceful and quiet. But once night fell, the light came alive. A virtual officer appeared and began to speak. This area is under real-time CCTV monitoring. The message echoed through the park speakers. The uniform was a perfect replica of real police gear. At a distance, you could barely tell it was fake. Some citizens even greeted it like a real officer. The realism itself became the power behind it. Technically, it was an impressive piece of work. 3D projection, lighting, and a transparent display merged. It was weather-resistant, stable, and energy-efficient. The system was controlled automatically by schedule. 3 hours every night, without manual operation. Officers could monitor and update messages remotely. They even tested different voices for best results. All of this began as a small pilot program. But the outcome exceeded every expectation. Citizens reported feeling safer and more relaxed. Parents said, "We can walk at night again." A simple projection had become a psychological guardian. And that's how light began replacing fear in Seoul. Soon, the results began to speak for themselves. Crimes in the area dropped by more than 20%. Theft, assault, and vandalism noticeably decreased. Even people's walking patterns began to change. Citizens started using the park more confidently at night. The once empty space turned into a safer community hub. People said they felt protected by presence, not patrols. It was proof that perception can shape public safety. The Jungbu Police called it human psychology meets tech. They realized fear could be managed by light itself. Some skeptics questioned the long-term impact, but numbers kept showing a steady decline in crime. Parents expressed gratitude for the newfound safety. Young women said they could finally walk without fear, and senior citizens resumed their evening walks again. Media across the world began covering the project. BBC called it a glimpse into policing of the future. NBC featured it as a creative solution to urban fear. Even Germany's DW described it as social innovation. For many, it was more than a police experiment. It was a story of imagination shaping real change. Technology didn't just monitor, it inspired calm. Light became law, and illusion became protection. To me, that's the most human part of all this. Not just catching criminals, but easing people's minds. In that sense, the hologram officer was truly real, because it made people feel seen and safe. The Jungbu Police proved that safety can start with empathy, and that even light can carry authority when used wisely. So next time you pass a park glowing with blue light, remember, that's not just technology, that's Korea's future.